what keeps going on. Like, it's one of our sky cams. I know that. I just don't know what what ads played. We're back with OSF St. Anthony's Health Center. Always great talking with the gang over there. And we got Fred SanSoucie.
You got it.
I was nervous, and I even practiced a couple of times.
Right.
I shouldn't have been nervous. I should have just went right through it. Confidence is key, Jeff. Jeff Worman joins us, too. We have Fred, who's the Director of Imaging Services. Jeff, you're the Manager of Imaging and Diagnostic Cardiology Services. I do get paid to speak for a living.
That is yeah.
This is really cool. I'm glad to have you both in the studio.
Thanks for having us.
The new additions to the MRI and the CT tech, this is really exciting for the entire region, really.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's some really great equipment. So OSF is they've really just they're trying to give back to the community. They're spending some money. So we got a new MRI machine. It's a new Signa Artist Evo, which is by GE. It's a really great scanner. It's a larger tube for those that have issues with claustrophobia. It's just more comfortable. Uses Air Recon DL, which is one of those taglines. But what that means is quicker scans, better imaging. It's a better experience for the patient.
That's really cool. Well, and also I just wanted to ask too, because so much of what OSF's done lately is provide so much of this, so we don't have to, go take the maze that's 270 or head over to St. Louis. Does this add to that list too?
It does, absolutely. So it gives us that option to do the specialty imaging without jumping the river, like you said. Yep. So some of those specialty things like breast imaging that's hard to get over here, prostate imaging, same. Historically you had to cross the river, go over there, deal with the traffic, deal with all of that, and you just don't have to. And then on the CT scanner, it's also a new GE. It's a Revo Ascend. The population's getting bigger in a couple different ways. We can do bariatric patients now, so up to 700-pound capacity on that table. So Same thing. That was a percentage of the population that had to go to the big academics to be seen. They don't have to anymore. They can stay here with us.
That's incredible.
Then cardiac imaging. So we can do cardiac scoring and things to that effect on this new scanner. We're still kind of getting ramped up with it and learning it. But it's great that we can serve kind of the population in their hometown here.
That's fascinating. And what's really fascinating too to me is that you guys are so actively learning it, just to see, all the ins and outs of it. This is a really cool piece of machinery, to say the least. It
is awesome. So, we've got the bigger ministry. We're part of 17 hospitals, right? Yeah. So we're not reinventing the wheel here. We're going to our partners that are up north, that they've done this for a long time. They're experts in it. And we're saying, hey, what challenges did you face? How does it work? How can you teach us? So even looking at sending techs up north, scanning live patients, of course, because there's nothing like live. So we've been on the scanner before. We've been the so-called crash test dummies. But it's really neat. It's quick and easy, and it's just great for the community.
Fantastic. Well, and let's talk a little bit more about some of the cardiology components of that. That sounds really fat. What's a score?
Calcium scoring that checks the plaque in the arteries and whatnot, and then we're going to do some perfusion scanning that helps before the cardiac cath. Kind of that preliminary is not as interventional. With the scanning. That's really cool. Well, and let's do this now, since we already started talking about the machinery a little bit. Let's take us through, Jeff, your day-to-day real quick, and then Fred, we'll get over to you.
Sure.
Jeff? I am the manager, as CJ stated, with over diagnostic cardiology and radiology. So it's a lot of the day-to-day activities, making sure staff have what they need to do. They're the professionals to do what they're filled to do in their job. So, yep.
Really cool.
And I've been with OSF for like 20 years, and I worked in nuclear medicine previously. Yep.
No kidding. Well, and it's probably cool to see OSF grow in the 20 years, too, and just keep adding, pieces like this.
Yep.
What's it been like for the staff to have this new equipment? Does it make it more efficient? Are they happy with it?
Much more efficient. They got to move a lot faster to keep the patients moving through. So, yeah. Yep.
Really cool. And Fred, getting over to your day-to-day, what's it look like?
So it varies day to day. Some days it's putting out fires. Some days it's coming and talking on the radio. It varies. We try to do as much community as we can. So, we hit the with the Memorial Day parade. We just did the Halloween parade, busiest that I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
So we've been doing it years and years.
The guy that announced it looked great. I don't know who did his hair, but
I tell you what,
really
he's a spectacular guy. I can't really say much about hairstyles because I don't think I've had one in about 20 plus years.
Going into the Halloween parade, and that's awesome. Going into the Halloween parade, though, it's got to be great to even just showcase that side of it to the community too, and just being able to have a fun night.
It is. So, that's...
Fred's a professional driver for that as well. Is he? Yes.
It's a lot of fun, and the feedback that we get from the crowd is amazing. Yeah. So, I've done this, and the amount of folks that chant OSF, or, we've always got music playing, that are singing with us, that are up. It's a hometown feel. So it's just one of my favorite things to do. It's a little nerve wracking because of the 1,000 people around, and you're looking at the tires and everything else and everybody on the back of the trailer and making sure nobody falls off. But it's worth it. Every time, I get there, and it's days of work, but it's so rewarding to get out and see those folks that we've helped, that, they've been either in the ER, they've been through the ICU, or they've got a family member that's been there, or if you go back far enough, they were born at St. Anthony's. So it's just amazing to be a piece of a small town community like this.
Absolutely, and I'm sure it's great too to be able to educate more and more individuals just about what the department, and not just what imaging does, but also all the great departments that OSF has. Going into imaging services a little bit more, what does it all encompass?
So imaging is huge. So like we joke that we're the picture people, right? So we take the pictures. We start with, everybody thinks of X-ray and that you take pictures of bones. Yes, we take pictures of bones, but we take pictures of lungs and everything else that kind of is inside. Then we have MRI and CT and neurology and ultrasound and nuclear medicine and stress testing and mammography. So it's kind of all of the diagnostics that you would see where you take an image where we're looking inside without going inside, right? So it kind of encompasses all of that. And I did mention neurology on the kind of the side aspect of this is EEG and EMG, which is nerve conduction studies and brain conduction studies as well. So it's just a really wide encompassing just bundle or basket of diagnostics.
Has OSF always done the neurology component of the imaging services?
We do, yeah. As a matter of fact, so our tech, and she'd hate that if I called her out here, but Pam, she's been with us since the 80s.
Wow.
So she is just a staple. She's been with Dr. Sherwood and Michelle Lovesey, who are just wonderful providers.
42 years experience, yes.
That's incredible.
Anniversary, yep.
That's incredible.
Absolutely. So it really speaks volumes to St. Anthony's and the team, the family that we have that stays with us to serve patients.
Well, and I could only imagine too, and Jeff, we were talking a little bit too about being there 20 plus years,
Yep.
and Fred, how long have you been?
I've been here 11 years.
11, so 31 total right in front of us. Yep. But what have you seen in terms of just the imaging, the evolution of it through the years? Because I'm sure it's not only just life altering, but it's life saving whenever you can spot something in its early stages, or because of just the way you guys run tests now, or just the practice itself. What have you seen? What has been the evolution for you guys to where we are now in terms of this testing and these imaging services?
The technology's changing daily, so you got to keep up with it and things like that. Yeah.
No kidding.
Which luckily GE provides us the resources we need to help maintain and keep up with the Joneses per se. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
If you think about what your cell phone or what your computer at home has done in 25 years, imaging has done the same. So many of our services are computer-based. We're using AI now for many things to help speed us along.
No kidding.
Absolutely.
What does it do? What's its function, if you don't mind me asking?
So it helps with diagnostics. It helps with just setting up the scans quickly on patients. Wow. So we can move through just very quickly. My background was in CT. So whenever I started 25, 26 years ago, I was a CAT scan tech. Okay. So we used a single slice scanner, and when I scanned something like a belly, we were there for 15, 20 minutes. Now we can scan an abdomen in 2 to 3 minutes.
No kidding.
Super, super fast. And the difference in image quality is just insane. So back then, the quality was maybe a few millimeters. Now we're good. We have quality down to a half a millimeter. So, You're talking less than a hair's thickness is what we can see on CT.
That's incredible.
Absolutely. So if you do a CT scan and it's called windowing, we can see individual strands of hair. So it's just the quality is just amazing. MRI is the same way. You know, it's fairly young in what it is from when it was invented, but the quality that we can see in ligaments, tendons, all the way down to individual nerves is just awesome.
And now, is the MRI, is that the one you're normally in a little bit longer?
It is, absolutely. Okay. So years ago, same thing. That was a 60 to 90 minute scan with absolutely. You were in it. It was tight. It was noisy. Still noisy. Not quite as tight. It's how it just creates the pictures, you know. So it's part of the frequency and part of the way that it creates the pictures, but it's much, much quicker. So a lot of scans can be done in 20 minutes now. The majority of scans are done in 40. So it's just much. We've basically cut the scan time at minimum in half between old technology and new technology. And that goes along with the scanner that we've just installed in January. So just almost cut everything in half.
That's incredible.
That's helping decrease our wait times and stuff too, so we can get more patients in a timely manner, and they don't have to wait to get their results and go on with their treatment. So that helps.
Well, I'm sure that's a huge point, because I'm sure that so many times, and we talked about earlier, not only is it a broken bone or a leg, but if someone's waiting on, you know, something didn't look right, or you're getting something, you know, checked out, you know, lung related or heart related, that can be nerve wracking. And even an extra 30 minutes or, you know, 4 hours of wait or a couple of days, that could get on, you know, under your brain a little bit. And it's great to have that efficiency
with cancer and the sleepless nights and things like that to get them moving for their treatment. So that's great. Yeah,
it's huge.
We're a right now kind of society, and when you have back pain, you don't want to wait 2 weeks to find out why you have back pain, you know, or if you're like Jeff said, it's sleepless nights. If you get a regular mammogram or a regular something and it says, hey, there's something abnormal here, you need some more pictures, and we'll see you in a month. Yeah, that means you're going to worry for a month, and your family's going to worry for a month, and your workers are going to worry for a month. We want to make it happen as quickly as possible so you can get on to the next stage if that looks like treatment, or if it looks like, hey, it was nothing there, or a cyst or something else, now you're in the clear. We just need to get to that next step as quickly as possible.
What are some of the challenges that you guys face right now? Is it just an overload of people needing tests and different things like that? Is it a quantity issue?
It's multifaceted. So during COVID, which, you know, affected everything, we slowed down. We only went to critical services. So a lot of the screenings just stopped. Wow. So we got out of COVID, everybody came in, and there was just kind of a flood back to the market that everyone needed a mammogram or a colonoscopy and everything. And so it did overwhelm the services to a point. What we also found was that many people were in later stages. So instead of catching a cancer, you know, right at the beginning, it was in stage 2 or stage 3. So it was a little harder to get there. People retired through COVID, so we lost techs. The biggest challenge I would say that the nation is having right now is radiologists. There's a radiologist shortage of about 2,500 radiologists in the country right now. You know, it's not a quick program. They can't just pump them out. So trying to get specialty things done, like biopsies and drainages and kind of those things that require the physician to be there, right at that moment, those are the hard things to do.
Well, how does someone get into, I guess, the industry is the next question, and then to that.
With the medical school, going through medical school and then specializing in radiology. And these radiologists specialize even more now into whether it's the MRI, the CT, the interventional radiology kind of thing. So they're looking into all the different avenues they can take to.
That's really fascinating.
And it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Is it really? Yeah. How long does it normally last?
For a radiologist, I think it's 10 years.
10 years, yep.
So for the technical side, we actually have some affiliate schools. So I'm on the radiology advisory board at SWIC.
Okay.
So we get x-ray students actually in the building all the time. That's great with those. We also get SIU, Carbondale with ultrasound students, and then cardiology as well.
Yep.
Echo students.
Or St. Louis Community College. Yep.
Nice.
With the cardiac sonography.
That's really cool. And it's great to note that too. And we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about the affiliate programs, and just if someone's interested, you know, I guess you just go through those schools.
You do.
Perfect. We'll come back and chat it up a little bit more about the imaging services. Really cool to talk about the new additions to the MRI and CT tech right here in our own backyard. You stay there and we'll be right here on RiverBender.com, and Roku TV.
Throughout all life stages, you need someone in your corner, guiding you on your health and wellness journey. At OSF Healthcare, that's your primary care provider. Your OSF primary care provider is there for every stage of life. Find a provider today at osfhealthcare.org/primary.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank. The local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Tomorrow isn't built by dreamers. It's built by doers. Because progress doesn't work unless we do. So at ARRT, we've been hard at work putting energy to work for you. Adding underground cables, installing advanced switches and sensors, storm hardening poles and power lines, making the energy grid stronger today so it can meet your needs tomorrow. Learn about projects in your area at AMRN.com/energyfuture.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Back, Daily Show, OSF in the building. It's always cool to learn more about this. Some of the services that I think that are some of the most utilized. I feel like at least at once in my lifetime I will be over to see you all in the imaging service department. Now, whenever it comes to going back to the getting the kids involved, we were talking, and 10 years is for the doctor side of things. But just like everything, there's always more opportunities that are around it. You were telling me that some of the X-ray tech jobs are about 2 years in college?
Absolutely. So SWIC has a 2-year associate's program. You need some prereqs, of course, to get into that, and there's a little bit of a wait list there. But it's a great opportunity to get in and get your get your feet wet. Start on the X-ray side. Almost all of our techs, kind of the core X-ray, CT, MRI techs, they start with just the basic X-ray program, and then they get to the hospital, and you can branch off into MRI. Mm-hmm. You can branch off into kind of the other modalities and specialize a little bit. So there's great opportunity there. We've been trying to get to the high schools to get in front of kiddos a little bit more. By the time they get to the college, it's a little too late. Yeah. So we've been trying. We're working with some of the local high schools, Godfrey and Alton, and I think we went out to Wood River, and I'm actually a hometown Granite City guy, so we've had students from there as well.
Civic Memorial is another one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So we try to get out and talk to them, and those kids that are great with science and love anatomy and physiology classes, those are kind of the core kids that we want to look at and see if they're interested. We do some shadowing so they can come in, they can see what the job looks like. That way they can say, hey, this looks really good, or it doesn't. You know, so we always say it takes a special kind of person. My sister's only a little bit older than I am, and we shared some classes in high school, and she became a teacher, and I went to the medical field, and it takes a certain kind of person, right? So you go into what you love, and it really makes a difference.
But you're right, though, to get out and have these conversations, just to inform the kids of, hey, here's what's out there. It might not be 10 years in the marathon and not a sprint, mindset, but it could be, being an X-ray tech, or it could be, doing something similar in that facet, which there's nothing wrong with.
For sure.
Absolutely. You're helping people, so that's the main thing.
That's 100% true.
Yeah. They're great jobs. They make great money, and you can have a really nice life. And you really, like Jeff said, you get to help people. So you go home at the end of the day knowing that you made a difference.
Absolutely. And I think for so many, especially in this generation, that's what they're looking for anymore. It seems like is there's a mission behind it. It's not just the dollar anymore. So that's really cool.
Absolutely.
And so you get both.
Yeah. You've got to find something, I think, throughout the years, you find something that kind of fills your heart and it gives you purpose, and everything else falls together, right? Yeah. So the money will come in. If you're looking for a title or whatever else, that you find what really speaks to you.
100% over. 100% over. And now going back in and just talking about some of the equipment, is it just the one new CT? Was it just the one machine this year?
It is. So
that one machine did a lot for the services at OSF. Right?
It absolutely did. So to give you an idea, we see around 50 or 60 patients a day on that CT scanner. So wow. It is not... It's not one that just gets utilized every now and again. MRI is busy as well. CT, we run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never stops. So we do have a secondary CT scanner in the cancer center. So we always have a scanner going. So even when one goes down for maintenance, the other is running. So it never stops. MRI runs 6 days a week. So we stay busy.
It's incredible. And, how does the team navigate that, too? I'm sure that's one of those controlled chaoses in a way, because you see 50 to 60 people a day. I mean, you have to be really good at what you're doing.
And flexible and open-minded to change, yes, because today we had some hiccups come up through, and we've got people moving around and whatnot to get on the proper equipment with biopsies and to get the biopsies through. Mm-hmm. But we still got to scan the diagnostic patients and everything too to keep everything moving. So yeah, the tech's got to be flexible and willing to change on a day-to-day basis. So what's
the best part about being in this department at OSF for you, Jeff, when it comes to your role and just overall?
We have a great team. The team makes it worthwhile awesome. And whatnot. We have good days and bad days, just like anything else. Don't want to make it like it's all rainbows and lollipops, but it's all we have a great team, and everybody works hard to get the patients done and taken care of. So yeah,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. We just came out of Rad Tech Week. Okay, so that's where we actually get to give back kind of every modality, and I say modality. A modality is MRI, a modality is CT. We kind of lump everybody together in Rad Tech Week, and that's when we get to give back. We fed our folks every single day we had biscuits and gravy and donuts, of course, from the wonderful Duke Bakery.
There you go.
And then we had, got to give them a shout out. Tuesday we had a pulled pork bar, and then we had moonlight on Wednesday and cake and ice cream. And it's when we can really give back to our folks. So, we both came from the technical side. We have seen the challenges. And I think the biggest thing that I got into leadership was to try to make things better for my techs.
Yeah.
And I take really ownership and it's very personal, the techs that we work with. And like Jeff said, it's an amazing team. This is not the only place I've ever worked, but this is the most amazing team I've ever worked with.
Awesome.
I've been blessed
I can say the same, yes.
to work with some amazing people throughout the years. And these are awesome folks. I bring my family here. Family that comes from different places that, drive from far away because I know and trust what we do. I've been a patient, my family's patients. So we trust the folks. It's just a great place.
And we've got longevity in our techs as well, too. They've been for a number of years. And then we got obviously some new folks, too. We like to keep them on and keep everybody moving through.
That's a good point, though. Yep. You're right, because everyone I've talked to really has been with OSF at least 90% of the time over 5 to 10 years, and that's really incredible. And even the new additions to OSF are just as passionate as the folks that have been there for 10 years. And I think you can see that. It's really cool.
Because it's a tough job market, so we want to keep our people happy and keep them going. Yeah,
absolutely.
Healthcare is a calling. You really have to want to take care of folks. It's not going to a bank. It's not going, to Walmart. It's a calling to care for other human beings, and one of the great things with the OSF and the sisters and the mission is we get to live that every day. It's not just a tagline. Yeah. It's for real. It's what we do. We are a family. Sometimes we argue like family, but that means that we have passion and we care for what we're doing.
We're human.
Right.
We are. Yep.
No.
Right?
That's so true. And I just think it's been great to chat it up with you both, because it's always cool to talk about imaging services, because we all use it. And to learn more about some of these machines, and maybe today someone was kind of nervous about going because they haven't gotten an MRI and they heard it takes 60 minutes, and you heard this new machine is helping eliminate some of that wait time. So hopefully it helps you. And what's the best way to get all of the information about some of the updates to OSF? Is it the website and just go into that services tab?
Yep, it's the website, absolutely. And, if all else fails, call the line and ask to speak with us. Okay. You can always do that. If you have students that are interested, reach out to us, contact us. We love to talk to kiddos. That's one of the most favorite things that I have, is going and talking to students and getting them involved and excited to come into what we do.
Love it. You guys, thanks so much for stopping by.
We appreciate you.
We'll take a quick break and we'll come back and wrap up the 9 o'clock hour that was right after this on this Monday morning on Riverbender and Roku.